We were in the back and all of a sudden he heard, "Oh my gosh, an African's here." Like, what?
It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try, but they can never take me down. Ooh, 'cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here, nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Taryn Travels. Today, I am going to do another story time. So Korea is not always filled with sunshine and rainbows, you guys. Korea can be a very hard place to live, especially for foreigners. Sometimes you get some crazy moments.
Breathe in. Boy.
So recently, I just went on a date with a Korean man. I usually don't date a lot here in Korea because of the quality of people that I meet. I want to make sure that the person I go out on a date with, I can get along with him in conversation. We could potentially be friends, and I know that I'll just have a good time. For this date, I think I made a good choice. I think I made the right decision.
Good job.
He seemed very kind. He seemed smart, like he had a good head on his shoulders. So I was more than happy to meet up with him. We decided for the first meeting, we would go get a drink, some coffee, maybe go to a cafe so we could talk to each other and get to know each other a little better. So I end up asking him if he will come to my city. He quickly agrees and tells me that he's going to drive there and asked me if I wanted to be picked up. I thought that was super sweet. But for first dates, this is maybe the American in me, but I prefer to go there on my own just in case something happens. I can get up and leave without him knowing where I live or any other details of that nature. So I told him, no, that's okay. I'll meet you at the spot. I send him the directions. He ends up driving there. He was keeping up with me in regards to like how long it would take him to get ready, how long it would take him to get there. He was very punctual. He's a planner. I like that because I am not. So give him the location. We end up meeting there at a specific time. On Sundays, I usually like to relax and chill. I usually do not go outside on Sundays because it is my day to recharge. However, if the occasion calls for it, then I'll go outside. The occasion was calling for it because, again, he was nice and he was kind, and I kind of wanted to meet him and see what he was about. So we meet at the cafe, and this is a very cute cafe. It can be quite secluded because there are booths in this cafe that is separated by curtains. Okay, the bottom of the curtain is solid and the top of the curtain is see-through, so you can see if someone is using that particular booth or not. At first, we were going to sit up in the front, but I'm not a big fan of being seen by every single person that walks into a cafe. So I request that we sit in the back. He pays for our drinks. We end up going towards the back. We sit down, we start having our conversation and getting to know each other. All of a sudden, I can see this look of disgust on his face. And I'm like, oh gosh, what did I say? Is it me? But no, it was actually some YouTubers. From kids to young adults to middle-aged people, there are YouTubers everywhere in Bucheon. Him and I are the same age, and I would definitely consider us young adults. However, we are in the phase of our life to where certain things can be of an annoyance, like loud noises or people being rude in cafes, things of that nature. I can see him getting irritated and annoyed, and I'm like, hey, are you okay? Is everything fine? Oh, I'm just annoyed. There's YouTubers everywhere. They're out on the street. They're in the cafes. I'm not used to this. This is just such a young atmosphere. And I'm like, dang, like, I kind of like that. But I understand where he's coming from. Like, I am an extrovert person. I like seeing people do things and being social and being online. As long as it doesn't interfere with everybody else, then I'm cool with it. But he was not as cool with it, which again was okay. So I tried to be mindful. So a few minutes, maybe not even a few minutes, maybe a minute passes by. And then I could see a look of frustration on his face. And I was like, what now? Like, what's happening? He looks down and he texts something in his phone. And then he shows it to me. In his phone, it read, "Can we please go somewhere else? I'm annoyed." And so I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? And so without being too much, he kind of whispers to me and says, "These guys are talking about how there's an African here, and I just don't want to be here. I don't like it here. I think we should leave." And so we hadn't really finished our drinks yet. So I said, okay, that's no problem. Like, we can finish our drinks and then we can go. I kind of felt bad because I brought him to that cafe. And I know that I shouldn't be the one feeling bad for that reason. But, usually there's no one in there, or if there are people in there, they're fairly quiet. They're not on YouTube. They're not streaming. The fact that this happened on my recommendation, I was like, okay, great.
Sometimes when you make a mistake, all you can do is own up to it, all right? Because it's something you can't fix. Knowledge.
Women of color, if something like this happens to you, please do not let it deter you from seeing this beautiful country for what it is. There are good people here who will be with you and stay by your side and try to protect you and speak up for you. And then there are bad people here, right? There are bad people everywhere in the world. Do not let one situation or one moment, unless it is absolutely traumatizing, ruin your time here in Korea and allow you to see this place in such a harsh light. Be mindful that situations like these can happen. Comment down below and tell me if you've had any microaggressions happen to you while you visited Korea. He drove here, so we end up getting in his car, trying to go to a different area of my city, the nicer area where, certain people live. So while we were in the car, I was just like, what happened? I understand that they were saying something about African, but what happened? Mind you, he is a teacher's assistant. He's studying to get his PhD, and I really admire him for that. And he teaches foreigners, so he does class in all English. So that's how we are able to communicate with each other. But of course, he's Korean, so he hears everything. He tells me that they were saying something sideways about, an African being in the cafe. I was quite oblivious to the situation. I don't really speak Korean. I can understand a little bit, but I don't speak it. So honestly, I could have continued to sit there and had no idea that they would have been talking about me. However, I really do appreciate him for saying, no, I don't like this. I don't like this conversation. I don't like where this is going. I don't like how someone is openly talking about you to a platform. He did not have to do that. He did not have to leave that cafe. He could have sat there, listened to it, and ignored it himself. But he took the initiative to get me out of a situation where people were talking bad about me. And I really appreciated him for that. I really respected him for that, because I can tell that he has a heart for foreigners. I can tell that he wants to learn more about all of us, and not just from an American, but from every one of the countries that he teaches, and that he does not stand for racism or microaggressions or bigotry or whatever the case may have you that they would have been talking about me in that cafe. From that moment on, I saw him in a different light. It's one thing to sit to something, listen to it, and ignore it. It's another thing to stand up, to tell the truth, and to walk away. After that situation happened and we had an open discussion, I did feel a bit more of attraction to him. while we were driving to the next area, I asked him, okay, well, what are you looking for? Are you looking for friendship? Are you looking for someone to just teach you English? Are you looking to date? Like, what are you looking for? And he was like, oh, well, I just downloaded this app. So I just, wanted to see what's out there.
Gotcha, bitch.
At first, he made it seem like he wanted a friendship and someone to like help teach him English so it can help him in his classroom. So I was like, cool, I have no problem doing that. For me, while living here in Korea, if I don't have a boyfriend, that's okay. It doesn't really bother me because I have some beautiful friends that I get to hang out with on a consistent basis. And they're honestly the fuel that keeps me going. After mentally putting him in the friend zone because I thought that's what he wanted, we were just hanging out. It was a really good time. We ended up driving a little out of my area and he had to park his car. Parking in Korea is trash, by the way. So if you do have a car here, try to figure out your parking situation because it's awful. So he ended up parking on one of the side streets and we didn't even realize that we actually had to walk about 17 minutes to get to our destination. Had we known that, we probably would have kept driving until we got there. We end up walking and we're walking and talking and we're laughing. We're enjoying each other's company. We end up going the wrong way. And so we had to turn around and go the other way. Mind you, it's cold, okay? It is cold outside. It's wintertime in Korea. I had on my wool trench coat, which usually if I'm going outside for longer than like 20 minutes, I'm going to put on my puffer jacket, my long, huge puffer jacket. But I didn't know I was going to be outside for that long. I thought I was going to be in my area, 10-minute walk down the street, 10-minute walk back, call it a day. But we were enjoying each other's company so much and we wanted to keep talking. And so while we were walking, it was just so cold. So I was doing a little bit of complaining, but we were laughing about it. So it wasn't like that big of a deal. But I thought that was like just this really cute thing. And he is studying like exercise, science and physiology. That's what he teaches. So I was like, oh, we could get my exercise in. It's fine. I'm cold though. So we ended up getting to the destination and we looked all over the place for it and the destination was gone. This is another thing that happens in Korea. Sometimes something can be here one weekend and then it disappears the next weekend. So if you are not up on your toes or if you are not up to date with the area, please be mindful that the places that you want to go may or may not be there when you get there. So we laugh about that. He's a little annoyed because he's a J in the MBTI scale, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And MBTI is a personality test, the Myers-Briggs personality test. And the J's are planners, right? They like to have a plan. They like to stick to the plan and make sure that everything is in order. If not, then they do get a little annoyed. I'm a P. I'm up to life wherever the wind blows me. I'm flexible. I really don't care where I go. I can have fun wherever. I can make something happen wherever I am. So when we get there, the place is not there. I can obviously tell that he's annoyed, but I laugh about it. I'm like, it's fine. I enjoyed the walk. I enjoyed the conversation. We're still getting to know each other while we're walking. And there was a consistent conversation happening the entire time. And it was just cute. Like, even though the day didn't go as planned, it was just fun. There was a lot of walking involved. So I got in my exercise on a Sunday. And this whole situation took about 2 hours. I did not expect to be out on a Sunday for 2 hours. I thought it was going to be like a 30-minute, 45-minute, get to know each other session and then go our separate ways. But it turned into this 2-hour protection, flexible, fun exercise, walking, hangout. It was so interesting. But I had a good time, right? When all was said and done, I really enjoyed it. So he ends up driving me back. He was like, hey, I'm really sorry. Time went by quicker than I expected. I have to go do this, and this. I'm like, hey, no worries. No problem at all. He drops me off. I'm like, bye. I like wave goodbye. He waves goodbye. Now, usually I don't get second or third dates, whether it be on my side. I'm not really interested. I kind of like ghost out in the background, or whether it's the other side, that person's not interested, so they don't ask for another date. But it's kind of rare that I go out on second or third dates here in Korea. Also, I didn't know it was a date because during the hangout session, he had discussed that, he didn't download this app for dating. He just downloaded it to make friends, to, see what's out there, to maybe speak some English. So I was ready to be that English teacher for him. I wasn't prepared for, the dating in my head. The next day, he texts me and, now we're in a constant conversation with each other. And he was like, hey, I want to see you on Friday.
Oh, say less.
Oh, okay, cool. And then he hits me with do you want to Netflix and chill? I'm like, Jesus.
What do you mean by that?
Y'all know, look, in Korea, I don't know if he knew, but I had to explain to him. Netflix and chill is the equivalent to ramyeon mogole, which means, do you want to come eat ramen in my house? But it means something else, right?
I want to have intercourse with you. Yeah, intercourse with you.
Relations.
It don't mean, do you want these noodles? It means, do you want that noodle?
뭐야?
I'm sorry. The correlation just hit me just then.
Stop it. Get some help.
Comment down below and let me know if you think he should have understood what Netflix and chill meant. I hit him with sir, do you know what this means? And so I had to explain it to him. Now, like, he's 32. So a part of me is like, no, you should know. But the other part of me is like, he's not into social media. He's studying for his PhD. He doesn't really go out a lot. So he's a homebody and he's a nerd. So maybe he doesn't know. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But I am going to see him again.
And
So yeah, I'll give you guys updates later on. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh Lord, we're going to have a funny story to tell. But just so you guys know, this is how the dates go in Korea. So it can be good or bad. You never really know. Be up for anything. Okay? Comment down below and tell me if you've had any crazy dating stories. I would love to hear them. Well, that was my story time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've got some more crazy ones coming up the pike. Continue to watch the channel. Look for the updates, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Whatever happens, I'm good. I'm good. Actually, more than good. Kinda great. Even on a bad day.